Hey, how you guys doing? Welcome to the channel. So Amanda Seales, she's going off and we're going to talk about why. Why is she so mad? When I tell you this week, she's been going off on Jasmine because Jasmine did not side with Corey. She is going off on the black community because she feels like you guys are too hard on Dr. Cheyenne Bryant and you guys should be that hard on Kamala Harris because she sides with Pakistan. But I feel like you should be harder on Trump. I really don't hear her really dragging Trump or the MAGA. I mean, it's so many individuals she can drag. She can drag Candace Owens. She can drag Nicki Minaj. But she don't be dragging anybody to me. So a lot of people have a lot of things to say about this situation. I would like to play Amanda Seales. She's gone off. She says she's going to take a break. She says she's so tired of you guys and the backlash that she's getting. She's definitely going to take a break. And it's other people on social media that is talking about this and responding. So I'm going to play their TikToks as well. And I want to know what you guys think about it. Make sure you guys like this video. If you guys can hear me, press that one just so I know this thing is working. All right. So let's go on. Let's hear it. All right. Can you guys hear it? Let me see. All right. Can you guys hear me? Press two if you guys can hear me. Where can I hear that? Okay, I can hear that.
I'm so done with y'all. I'm done with this fucking internet. I'm done with sharing my thoughts. Fuck you. Literally. The fact that I have been harassed for the duration of this Cheyenne Bryant shit to talk about it, only to then have an actual conversation about it, which I said, it's fucked up that she lied. It is not okay that she lied. I'm also not going to throw her away. Y'all want me to throw people away, but you don't think it's okay when people are throwing folks like Cori Bush away. So now I have this abolitionist heritage site. This person did several swipes. I'm so done. This person did several swipes about how I'm fucked up and I'm not standing on business for not saying that, for not wanting to throw away Cheyenne Bryant. Like, and I'm going to keep saying what I said, which is, it is fucked up that she lied. She also was great on my podcast. Now someone's here saying, but you threw Kamala away. How are you comparing a vice president that supports and continues to get behind genocide and Zionism with a lady who is a life coach? How? And someone said, take a social media break. Here's the thing. I don't need a social media break. Y'all need a social media break. This person did several swipes about how because when I'm in the world, I don't have these issues. I literally just left Ohio yesterday and had a beautiful time with the folks at the Black Expo. A great time. It's y'all that are stuck here in this social media nonsense that are just turning over constant opinions that are not based in actual fact, but are presented as if they're the only option. Like, y'all need a break. Because when I'm in the world, I don't have these issues. Why are you all so obsessed about Cheyenne Bryant? She was on my podcast and she was brilliant. The need to, if y'all went this hard against like Kamala Harris for supporting a genocide, then like, what would that would matter to me? For some reason, she felt like she needed to lie about credentials. I don't know why. I think part of the reason is because we live in a world where we act like credentials is what determines somebody's effectiveness across the board. And in some respects, it is absolutely necessary. I just don't care. I don't care. Why are you all so obsessed about Cheyenne Bryant? She was on my.
All right, so let's go to TikTok. Let's see what they're saying.
I wasn't gonna say anything because I've been working on turning over a new leaf of not reading people for filth when I see stupid shit on the internet. But then Amanda Seals pissed me off at 7:53 this morning before I could have my first joint, and I said, "Unfortunately, God, I'm going to share my thoughts with the people today." What is it that Amanda Seals and Madam Fraud, Fakey Fufu Boo Boo, last name the fucking fool Cheyenne Bryant have in common? Well, Amanda Seals is self-diagnosed, and Cheyenne Bryant is self-decorated in a bunch of doctoral degrees that do not exist. So off bat, we have unregulated and unqualified women buying into the same type of bypassing, hyping each other up like, yes, bitch. My issue with you, Amanda, is that you are intelligent. You have multiple degrees. Up until this morning, we were still mutuals because I followed you 4 to 5 years ago because I appreciated the way in which you approached conversations, even through your frustration and exhaustion from being frustrated. You approached conversations that I felt were very hard to talk about, even if I didn't always agree with the angle that you came from. I appreciated that you held room and space for the conversation to be had. The issue now is that you won't heal whatever this bitter wound is. This wound that makes you think everybody has wronged you, nobody understands you. I've heard you talk about your pattern recognition so many fucking times, and I just have this question. If we sometimes miss social cues because we're autistic, how do you always understand what everybody else fucking means and how everybody else is intending something to come across, but everybody else is always misunderstanding your intention and the way in which you're coming across? At what point in our pattern recognition do we pick up on the pattern that we might be a bitch? At what point in the pattern recognition do we pick up on the pattern that maybe we're using our autism as a mask to disguise the fact that we like being an asshole sometimes because we are frustrated and exhausted with being intelligent and having ideas that people don't want to listen to because maybe it's not the most intelligent idea in the room. You grew up in the 80s in Florida going to school amongst a bunch of white people, and you still have not in your mind graduated to understanding that you're in a bigger class called life with more Black people that are in fact smarter than you, so you don't have all the answers. And sometimes your approach is in fact wrong. So that day I was scrolling and I saw you on live and I heard you come out of your own mouth and say that you weren't going to pay to get diagnosed with autism because you know, and that's all that matters now. I realized you are scared to sit in the chair of somebody that's fucking qualified because you don't want to find out that people may have been right about you, not as a whole, but based off situation and circumstance. But are they right about you if you keep reinforcing the thing that they were calling you out for? If you are so healed, because you said on Shannon Sharp that you know you've been toxic, if we are so healed, then our actions should be different. We should be showing up differently, and you're not. You are consistently showing up in a way that makes you unrecognizable to those of us that have loved you, respected you, and defended you. For Madam Fraud, Fakey Fufu Boo Boo, last name's a fucking fool, Cheyenne Bryant. You got on that show and defended that causing children pain by putting your hands on them, physical violence, hitting them, popping them, is not abuse, but instead discipline. I want to know, when you get popped in the mouth, you know, not because people are abusing you, but because they love you and they have to show you that you are wrong, so they're disciplining you. How do you as an adult regulate? Or have you not been popped in the mouth as an adult? Because I think we might need to put this one to test and trial. You don't know the difference between gentle parenting and permissive parenting. If gentle parents are raising gentle children, they're gentle because they understand the boundaries that you say gentle parenting and gentle children don't fucking have. If you tell a child, gentle, gentle with the puppy, they know to slow down and soften their movements and be more gentle because the parents have explained if you're too rough with the dog may bite your ass. So the children learn a boundary. So when you have gentle adults, when you have gentle people that parent their kids, it's because they understand there is a certain boundary that cannot be crossed when trying to discipline, when trying to educate for the sake of keeping that child open and making sure that everybody stays emotionally regulated. When you talk about parents that don't give a fuck about what their kids are doing, don't care that their kids are disrespectful, yada, 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 that's permissive parenting. But you wouldn't know that because you don't have a fucking degree or 2 brain cells to rub together and shit out in the morning. You resorted to being a raging homophobe when that Black man asked you to stop interrupting him after you had your own time to speak uninterrupted, saying a whole bunch of fucking nothing. And something I've realized about these fucking interviews with Cheyenne is that you get nervous when there's a whole bunch of people that are actually qualified in the room. You start fumbling over your words. You can't seem to find things that make sense to link together. And it's either because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, or because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You accidentally called Teray a gentleman and then corrected yourself and said, well, you're not a gentleman, but you're a gentleman, and you're gentle and you're soft and you're feminine, and that's the problem now. Then you called him softy twice, all because you couldn't call that man gay, but he could call you a fucking liar that's disillusioned because you're struggling to cope with the fragility of your own demented state. You built your entire image off of a fucking facade and thought that shit was going to work in 2026. Read the room, sister. We don't fuck with AI. There's no room for artificial intelligence over here. All that money you spent on a chain that says doctor, you could have spent it to start a motherfucking degree, or at least switch the chain to something that says lying narcissistic bitch, because that would have been true. I wasn't going to say anything because I've been working on turning over a new leaf of not reading people for filth when I see stupid shit on the internet. But then Amanda Seales pissed me off at 7:53 this morning before I could have my first joint. And I said, unfortunately, God, I'm going to share my thoughts with the people today. What is it that Amanda Seales and Madam Fraud Fakey?
All right. She read her ass, right? She read both Cheyenne and she also read Amanda. Everybody is dragging them, rightfully so.
Every time Amanda Seales opens her mouth, she confirms why the fuck no one likes her. Now, before we get into it, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, follow, do all the things. I'm going to talk my shit. We're going to have a good time, but let's get into it. So Amanda Seales decided to get her ass on her live yesterday and basically say that Cheyenne Bryant was brilliant when she came on her show. She doesn't understand what all of the vitriol is about, and that we basically, gave Maya Angelou, we called Maya Angelou a doctor, and she didn't have a real doctorate degree. So what's the big deal with calling Cheyenne Bryant a doctor? And she basically tried to make it seem as if that she understands that doctorates are important in certain fields, but it seems as if Cheyenne Bryant hasn't caused any harm. And that actually shows that, Amanda, you're not as smart as you think you are. And that's what really irritates me about you. You have convinced so many people that you're so intelligent that they actually think that you're smart. And every time you open your mouth, you actually show that you lack a lot of critical thinking skills and that you say shit because you need to get a check. Because at the end of the day, it's one or two things. Either you are really smart and this is just a game you're playing to cash a check because you ain't getting no acting work, or you're really not as smart as you try to portray. And you literally made a statement on here as you wish that people were as mad at Kamala Harris as they are with Cheyenne Bryant. And it's like you have this thing for Kamala Harris because you literally just can't think outside of yourself, and you need something that gives you a talking point on, and it's a way to be a contrarian and get attention. So let's break it down. Maya Angelou literally got her honorary doctorate degrees, which she has multiple, because of the work that she did, because she was involved in the civil rights movement and was a civil rights leader, because she worked on presidential campaigns, because her works have been studied in the literary sense. Her works have been studied in college and high schools. She is actually someone who's had a framework of things that have been analyzed by literature experts. She's received governmental awards. Was a Pulitzer Prize nominee, a Tony Award nominee. She received the Presidential Medal of Freedom. I mean, what are we talking about? How are you comparing the two? She was the first Black woman depicted on a quarter. And it wasn't because her work was fake. She was able to back up her literature works. This woman has over 50 honorary degrees. I'm going to post it in right here. So you're going to tell me that this list can equal to Cheyenne Bryant's list? Make it make sense. When Cheyenne Bryant's honorary degree was from Harvest Christian, the same school that just gave Chris Brown one, the unaccredited religious organization that has zero accreditation, that's basically a school that you can get a tax deduction for donating there. That's where she got her degree from. So you literally twisted your mouth to put them in the same category when this woman got her friggin' honorary degree from this fake ass fucking school. And Maya Angelou has more than 50 honorary degrees based on all of her work. Maya Angelou did the work for us to call her Dr. Angelou. Even though it was honorary degrees, she's got the years of work to back it up. This chick has not one honorary doctorate from an actual school, a real school. Dr. Maya Angelou's Smith College, Mount Holyoke, and Mills College, all actual real schools. You just wanted to get your likes up and get your views up for a check. You do this every few months. You come up with some bullshit just to get a fucking check because your ass ain't getting no acting jobs. And you know that you've pretty much squandered your whole acting career. So you got to get on here and do some bullshit to get some clicks and views to get that YouTube check. You're ridiculous. And I really, really wish people would stop listening to your ass. Every time Amanda Seales opens her mouth.
Ooh, all right. So as you guys can see, people are not here for her. All right.
So Amanda Seales recently posted a video and she was talking about Cheyenne Bryant. And it's gone viral. Some people have had a lot to say about it. And before I tell you how I feel, if you haven't seen it, check this out. I'm going to show you and then I'm going to chop it up.
Why are you all so obsessed about Cheyenne Bryant? I'm beginning to think that this is a bot thing. Why are you so obsessed about this? Like, okay, she lied. I could see if she lied and like harmed people, but she was on my podcast and she was brilliant. I think it's fucked up that she lied. You know, and then that's that.
Okay, so let's break this down. First, I'm going to point out a couple of things that Amanda Seales says that are controversial. And then there's some things she said that are accurate. The first, though, is when you said that Cheyenne Bryant didn't do harm if she lied about her doctorate. And that's false, okay? Because let me talk about indirect harm. Black people who earn doctorates represent, depending on the statistics that you look at, 2 to 4% of doctorates actually earned in higher education. And I mean, completed the PhD, did the research, got your degree. And when you talk about different dimensions of harm, that is indirect harm because it's already hard enough for Black people with doctorates to exist. But when you lie about that, you contribute to discrediting sometimes what other people have. And that's problematic because now we're already questions and have to prove ourselves twice as much as other people with doctorates, non-Black people with doctorates, and even non-Black white people with doctorates, okay? Let's just be clear. Let's call that out. And so when you did that, what that does is it starts a narrative that creates indirect harm. And yeah, it might be minimal to some, and some people might not even acknowledge it, but it is still harm.
At the end of the day, for some reason, she felt like she...
Oh, do you guys agree with her? Comment, let me know. Do you guys agree with her? Honey, I just say, I think Amanda, she's done, you guys. Let's get the likes up. Come on, we can do better with that. I want to know. I think Amanda is done. And I don't mean cancel done. I mean like Twitter dragged her done. I mean, done. I mean, spirit left the body. Ancestors are weeping. Harriet Tubman said, not on my damn watch, done. Because when I tell you what she did, when I tell you what she did, and when I tell you she got on that internet in them damn pajamas with that looking like she ain't even oiled since the Obama administration. Okay, that hair looks so damn dry. And she defended a known fraud who told women to use their mouths when their baby hose wasn't working. When I tell you, I had to walk around my living room, I had to call my girlfriends and just breathe into the damn phone because I didn't even have any words to say. And I know some of y'all clicked thinking I know y'all didn't think I was going to cape for Amanda, okay? I'm not caping for no fraud, and I don't cape for the people who cape for fraud people. Honey, when I tell you, what do you guys think? Press 1 if Amanda, what do y'all think? Are y'all on Team Amanda? Press 1 if you Team Amanda. Press 5 if you're not Team Amanda. But honey, when I tell you, I'll just believe she's done. She's over with everybody, and their mama is dragging her ass. Okay.
A few weeks ago, I heard somebody say that Amanda Seales might be the only person that could take Cheyenne Bryant and shake the truth loose up out of her. Like sit her down, have a real conversation, and make that woman fess up. And I said, you know what? Y'all right. I would love to see that conversation. But yeah, after this morning, no. Because when I got on Threads, scrolling like I usually do, and saw a video of Amanda Seales talking about Cheyenne Bryant, yeah, that whole perspective changed completely. Amanda was 1,000% defending Cheyenne Bryant, chastising the rest of us about Cheyenne Bryant, and comparing Cheyenne Bryant to Dr. Maya Angelou. I think that's where I draw the line.
Why are you all so obsessed about Cheyenne Bryant? I'm beginning to think that this is a bot thing. Why are you so obsessed about this? Like, okay, she lied. I can see if she lied and like harmed people, but she was on my podcast and she was brilliant.
Oh, but wait. There's more.
There's no match. I don't need to have some type of debate with Cheyenne Bryant. At the end of the day, for some reason, she felt like she needed to lie about credentials. I don't know why. I think part of the reason is because we live in a world where we act like credentials is what determines somebody's effectiveness across the board. And in some respects, it is absolutely necessary. And in her respect, it actually wasn't necessary for her to do the work that she does. That being said, I just don't care. I don't care. She was on my podcast and she was incredible. I don't care. I think it sucks, and I think it was not smart, and I think that at the end of the day, there are people who work really hard to get doctorates. There are also people who call themselves doctor when they get an honorary doctorate, and I don't think that's much different. I don't think it's much different. Maya Angelou was walking around calling herself Dr. Maya Angelou. She didn't complete a doctorate.
Now, I like Amanda. I have supported Amanda for many, many years. I've done mental gymnastics trying to get people to understand her side of things. But you had me at Dr. Maya Angelou, ma'am. One of the greatest poets and authors of all time. Ma'am. Yeah. Okay, then. A few weeks ago.
There's a lot of people already talking about the Amanda Seales stuff, and the only thing that I will add to it is that when looking at this whole scenario, I would urge y'all to kind of put it in the context of folks who perform intellect rather than embodying it, right? Think about the fact that Amanda has spent years making her brand about the performance of intelligence and the performance of intellect. Everything from creating that smart, black, and funny like brand, right? And doing some good work in building that up. She has frequently, despite kind of her statements in defense of Cheyenne, let us know that she has a master's degree from Columbia. As far as I know, she is actively pursuing a doctorate right now. So again, so much is.
Child, I was getting bored. Honey, well, it's not looking good. I want to see what the chat is saying. So it says, so my word is, no, I'm not rooting for Amanda Seales. With the 92%, with the Black community as well. I know that's right, because Amanda, she on some other stuff, right? Yeah, she's what's she smoking on? I don't know, but whatever she's smoking on, I don't want it. And did you guys see how she handled this dude?
This was disturbing.
First of all, Teray, first of all, Teray.
Why don't you let me wrap the show? I'm ending the show.
First of all, Teray, first of all,
we're getting out of here. Like, what is the point? What is the point? It says go to
voice when you're talking to me. Lower your voice when you're talking to me. Because you're acting very, very gentle, very soft, and very feminine. And this is the problem.
Okay, so we've already went over Cheyenne Bryant's credentials or lack thereof in previous videos, so I won't spend time re-explaining that. What I want to talk about today is how this clip was suspiciously uploaded on the Truth Talks Live page the other day. There was a show that Cheyenne was on with Torrey and Frank Ski and Ariva Martin, where they had kind of a panel online show. I think it started on Fox Soul. They haven't had any like new episodes, but they seem to be clout chasing off of everything that Cheyenne Bryant does, including her podcast interviews. But in this one, Cheyenne Bryant crashes out on former MTV journalist Torre. And shout out to Torre. I was actually featured in Torre's latest video, actually talking about Cheyenne Bryant, about why she's not a doctor.
That's where Cheyenne is. Appearing to be lying about something like this is better than being unmasked as not a doctor at all.
She has only financial aid documents showing she paid for a doctoral program. And if you listen carefully, the word doctoral in this conversation becomes a sticking point because she can't even pronounce the word. She pronounces it doctorial.
I paid for a doctoral program.
One would say that if you can't even pronounce the word, who is going to believe that you actually have completed a doctoral program?
I paid for a doctoral program.
Let me tell you my Cheyenne story. For several months last year, we did a 4-person talk show where she and I were the lead voices. I tried to get clips of it, but the third party that holds the records only holds on to old videos for 2 years. But
what we're about to witness here is what happens when the psychology expert breaks down and you actually see what's really going on underneath.
And this is how life works. And successful people, not just only externally, but internally, what they do carry at the nucleus of who they are is discipline and boundaries.
If gentle parenting creates gentle children, sign me up. I definitely want to create more gentle adults, especially men. Hold on, everybody, especially men.
You are
My God,
you are
kidding?
a very, very.
Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. That's what we need in the world is more gentle men who understand.
You're very gentle, and it comes at an angle that doesn't always work for people.
Let's just stop and go back.
Is this who you want to get your life coaching from?
Because I'm wrapping the show and you're interrupting me.
First of all,
this is what we spent a whole meeting.
This was disturbing.
First of all, Teray, first of all, Teray.
Why don't you let me wrap the show? I'm ending the show.
Girl, these straight people are crazy. They too old to be acting like this. Ooh, they're so emotional over a damn show on YouTube. But I guess this makes good TV. You know, they love to sit up and argue with each other.
First of all, Teray, first of all,
we're getting out of here.
Teray,
like, what is the point?
Teray,
what is the point? It says go to
voice when you're talking to me. Lower your voice when you're talking to me. Because you're acting very, very gentle, very soft, and very feminine. And this is the problem.
That was the best part, them arguing. Oh my goodness. Man, it's crazy out here. Well, I want to let you guys know. You guys know I have a TikTok, right? Look, I just made it up to 10,000 followers. I don't know how I did it, but there I go. Look at me, y'all. Look, 53K views. Do y'all want to click on to see what I was talking about? I don't be having time for TikTok. I really don't. I don't have time for TikTok. Shit, I don't have time for Instagram. I barely have time for YouTube, to be honest with you. This is my Instagram, and I've been doing okay. I got 2,000 hearts. Shit, I don't know how I got that, but yeah, it's her. Well, I don't know what the world's come to, but I saw that, and I just wanted to see if you guys would like that. But clearly, I don't think y'all like that. I think you guys like more true crime over here. All right, well, I'm going to get on out of here. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys like, share, and comment, and I'll see you guys on another upload. All right, bye.